right, so you're watching 1700. My name is Natalia, and I'm here with my co-host Eliza and Nick and Pele from the up and coming Perth band Death by Denim. So, how are you guys going? Are you in lockdown? What are you up to?
No, we're not in lockdown. Luckily for us in Perth, we're pretty cruisy over here. To be honest, we're playing some gigs and being able to do whatever we want, except for travel, of course. But
yeah, it seems a bit quite crazy at the moment. Just watching the catastrophe around Australia and then going like,
yeah, you guys are fine all up there, nice and sunny. So your sound has been compared to indie pop rock bands such as Tame Impala and MGMT. So how would you describe your music to someone who hasn't heard it before?
That's a good question.
it is.
It's pretty eclectic, I reckon. Like, we try to mix it up all the time, but I pretty much just say like 2 guitars, a bass and a synth, and anything that can create. That's what I put it down to, but you can probably say it better.
We don't like to pigeonhole ourselves, I guess, in our sound. So whatever it is, like, we'll write a indie rock, pretty standard indie rock song, and then in that same album or same space of writing, we'll write a crazy, weird, psychedelic synth song or whatever. So it's like we just have fun and we write whatever we want to, and when we record as well, it's just whatever goes. So keeps it fresh and exciting for us, I guess, and yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, so a bit of everything, really. I guess that's good. You can just do whatever you want, whatever you feel like. So you've just released a new single, Cause a Scene. So tell us a bit about the background of that song, you know, how it came about, the inspiration behind it.
I guess that song took quite a while to write, I remember, because I just had it in my head that I had to write a song called Cause a Scene, because I was just seeing so much social media protest happening, especially last year. A lot of people I didn't know who wouldn't usually have an opinion on anything were really like presenting a voice on all these issues. And I was like, something's got to give here. I feel like there's just this general aura of frustration in everyone. And that was kind of driving me to write this song about just kind of enough is enough. But it just took a while to get there. And then eventually all the parts were there, and we actually recorded it in December last year. So we've been sitting on it for quite a while. So much so that by the time it came out, we had completely lost any love for it. We were like, I think it's a song. I do think it's a song. But, yeah, it turned out great. And we had a pretty fun video clip with the one tour that we were able to do in the last year and a half of Australia. So it's good to get that on camera for sure.
Yeah, so we actually love the lyrics. Some say talk is cheap, so cause a scene. So you just said that you kind of stated the song as a commentary of social and environmental activism, especially in the past current climate. So with that particular movement, is there any other particular movements or causes that you guys are passionate about that help aid the songwriting and production process?
Well, it wasn't really like directed at any one specific thing. It was more just this feeling that we all had, like we're all kind of sitting in, I think we went in lockdown at the time, actually.
We probably were.
Yeah, no, my mind is pretty skewed as to when things actually happen now. But yeah, we weren't trying to direct it at anything. It was just this feeling of frustration, and just even in our lives, we're kind of like, we felt very hamstrung by COVID, just like every other musician has felt, basically. But we were like just itching to get out there and just cause a ruckus, I guess. So that's kind of where it came from. We weren't being like, oh, we're trying to directly talk about this central issue or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd all love to just sort of get out and do whatever we want at the moment, but you guys can do that a bit more than us at the moment. So just a bit of a play on words on the cause a scene thing. Have there been any particular moments in your life where you've caused a scene, so to say, for better or for worse, like anything funny or embarrassing?
Oh,
You guys are?
have you guys? Let me think.
Scene. I've caused a few scenes at times. I don't know. Yeah, probably with my parents. I'd probably to them, but I can't think of anything specifically.
I quit. I got a job.
It's a good
My
one.
first ever job, like 4 or 5 years ago, fresh out of a law degree. I got it's like a job at a accounting firm, as a legal position, and I quit it on the second day. So that was
You had
I
enough.
remember getting in the morning. So I knew obviously he took this job, and then the day after I get a message in the morning saying like, "Yo, Nick, I quit my job. One day in, couldn't do it. We need to write some good songs." So I was like, "All right, yeah, cool."
Yeah, this was like 6 months into the Death by Denim
Yeah.
journey, and I could just feel it in my bones. I was like, this is a good band. This job, and I was like standing out the front of the big blue city building, just looking up at it, going like, all right, I've just got to walk in there and quit, and whatever comes. So that was pretty funny.
Bombed out. Quit the 9 to 5.
Yeah, bit of a 360 accounting versus being on stage.
Definitely.
I wasn't you already. I'm sorry. It's just not me.
Well, that obviously gave us some insight on how you guys all caused a scene. We'll be right back with Death by Denim, but first let's hear a spin of their brand new single, Cause a Scene.
All right, so you're watching 1700 and we're back with Death by Denim. So they've given us a bit of an insight into what their new single Cause a Scene is about. There's still so much more to chat about, so let's get straight into it. So I mentioned a bit earlier, despite the serious messaging in the lyrics about, causing a scene, making a change, the video clip, as we've just seen, is sort of very playful and gives us an insight into your tour life. So, I mean, you're sort of quite a new band, only a few years old. So what's been a highlight of the experience of touring so far when you have been able to tour, I suppose?
The last, like, a step above, we sold out all the shows and stuff, but it was just like, so we played a festival at Big Pineapple, which was our first time playing that. We weren't just opening up the festival, so we played at like 2 p.m. or 2:30 or whatever, and to see like, I don't know how many, over 1,000 people there.
Our biggest crowd for sure.
It was just like a surreal moment, I guess, or like this is pretty cool. And then it's always been the thing with our tours, when things get well, we're like, this is gonna keep going. And then obviously in the last couple of years, it's just been like, nah, back down. Back down we go. But
yeah, I think with every tour, we've seen a progression in the fan base, and they've just slowly grown each time. I think that's the craziest thing. Like the first time we went to over east, it was just Sydney and Melbourne. We didn't try and do every city or anything, and we're probably playing to like 40 or 50 people, which was still better than nothing. We were pretty grateful that anyone showed up, but it was like, kind of felt like starting again, like doing your first performance at school or something, and you have to show everyone that you can actually do what you said you'll do. And then the next time there was like 100 people, and the next time there was 200, and it's just crazy because the people who were there on like day one over east have become pretty good mates of ours. And they're just like so stoked that we remember them, and we're like, of course we remember you. Of course we remember. You came to the show.
Yeah. The first ones, like Jezza and Corey, stuff like those people.
Jezza and Corey.
Shout out to them if they're watching. But the shows we hang out and stuff, so it's good fun.
Good. So just as you previously mentioned before, you guys kind of have a whole range of genres in your music. Do you believe this is going to change after releasing an album and getting to tour? Are you more comfortable with your sound, or do you think it'll change again? What do you think? Can you narrow it down, or what do you think your genre is today?
That's a great question. We're talking about it right now, where we want to take things, because we just came off the first album, and at the moment, like for most artists, there's not too much you can do besides just work on your craft and keep recording. And especially the second album that we're going to be putting out next year is kind of just a development on the first. It's much more like, it's a bit more dynamic, but it's still the same kind of sound, just brought out into a few different areas. Whereas I feel like whatever comes next is going to be quite a shift, I think.
We always talk within ourselves, like if we're listening to classical music on the radio or something, like at 1 a.m. at night, and there's some weird genre playing, we're like, that's Death by Denim album number 7.
That's it.
Yeah,
We've got it.
Minutes of just triangle this thing, and then it gets quicker and quicker and becomes a drum and bass song.
Yeah, not bad.
That's what could happen.
We don't know what's going to happen.
In fact, that's what we'll do after this.
Yeah, so speaking of the next album, so obviously Cause the Scene is off the upcoming second album. So how do you find the process of writing your second album? Is it easier than the first time round, or do you find that, you know, trying to do so many different things, it's harder to sort of pinpoint what the direction you want it to go in?
First album was like originally meant to be an EP, and then so we had like 6 songs, I think, and then COVID happened, and we were like, okay, let's do an album because we may as well. So that kind of just happened out of the blue, whereas this one, we were really like thinking about it quite a bit for like a year or whatever since we recorded the last album, and they all just happen out of like experiences. So I guess we're having less experiences these days, which is getting a bit harder to write about. But
it was definitely a case of like, we were going to record in a couple months, and it's like, oh, we don't really have a song, and then we'd have a gig or something, and then bam, a song comes from it. Yeah, we find it's just whatever we're talking about, and something will happen. It just all kind of links into these great lyrics that we can relate to because it happened to us, and then we think, well, everyone can relate to it, but not necessarily. But with the second album, we found it's pretty funny because we've got all these songs in the bank, and none of us can choose which ones we like. We're all fighting each other, and I don't actually like it as much. Just not having to pick one. Like,
you like the album though.
Album is great.
You don't like the record. He likes the album.
I don't like the album. Don't like the band. In fact, this is what I like.
Scandal,
tension behind the scenes.
The real Death by Denim. But yeah, it's just so much choice, and you just I think especially we're just trying to pick those songs which you think will relate the most to people, but you've got 14 to pick from, and you're going, so yeah. I just can't wait to get them all out, is what I'm trying to say, rather than drip feed a single one at a time.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. So obviously you just talked about your upcoming release of your album. So I know even this crazy time, but do you have any plans to go on tour, or what can we expect in the next year from Death by Denim?
We're going on a WA tour in October, starting actually at the end of September with Wave Rock Festival, which will be fun. And then, a little WA tour. We do have plans for early next year to come over east, which we'll announce soon and all that. But we just can't wait to get back over there. We've been playing in Perth for 4 or 5 years, and it gets a little bit not mundane, but it's like, you see the same people, and then whenever we go over east, it's just a bit more fresh and more exciting. You're not playing just on tour. It's just
you can't just play every week in Perth, even like no COVID. After a while, it's like you can't build any momentum, because even if it's Tame Impala, I saw Tame Impala a year or 2 ago, and they just did a gig a few months ago, and I'm like, I'll catch them on the next one. So it's
we're a bit complacent here.
But we are looking at like a March, April kind of timeline for a big national run, I think.
Supposedly there's talks of an international tour as well next year.
There are international.
Scoop.
We're all just getting our jabs in. And
Yeah, it's huge. So fingers crossed. We're looking forward to seeing what comes next for you guys, and hopefully even get to see you live, if everything goes well. So massive thank you to Death by Denim for joining us on today's show. Be sure to check out their new single, Cause the Scene, on your preferred streaming service, and you can catch them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the above at Death by Denim. So you're watching 1700.